Realistically speaking, dinosaurs wouldn't make good pets. They were wild animals with highly attuned fight or flight responses to stimuli, which would have made them not only difficult to deal with, but also very dangerous. Small ones would be nervous, nippy animals prone to running around and clawing the furniture. The larger ones could leap higher than deer, kick harder than mules, and bite stronger than a crocodile. In other words, they could take your head off easily if they felt like it. But even if they were the most peaceful creatures on Earth, the big ones would be extremely expensive to take care of and difficult to house. So practically, dinosaurs could never make good pets. However, in theory, there are some dinosaurs that could have possibly made good pets. I'm Mike with List 25, and here's a list of 20 bizarre dinosaurs that would have made good pets.
20.
Gasparinosaura. Gasparinosaura was a small bipedal plant eater. Experts have estimated that its length was about 2.6 feet or 1.7 meters. As for its weight, an average Gasparinosaura weighed around 29 pounds or 13 kilograms. It could definitely be domesticated, as it was friendly to other living creatures and consumed green salad exclusively.
19.
Citic Asaurus. A typical Citic Asaurus was about the size of a Labrador. Being small and mostly herbivorous, a plant eater, it was definitely a safer dinosaur than its carnivorous counterparts. This, of course, doesn't mean that it would be as easy to handle as, let's say, a bunny. They could give a nip with their parrot-type beak or possibly do some damage with their spiky protrusions on their tail. These they generally used for fighting other males of its kind over a female Citicosaurus.
18.
Troodon. Troodon was a human-sized theropod of the late Cretaceous period. It's known for its particular intelligence. Actually, the decorated paleontologist Dale Russell speculated in Study how this dinosaur might have evolved if it weren't for the KT extinction event. Thanks to its intelligence mainly, we tend to believe that it could have made a great friend, if not a pet, for our kind.
17.
Volcanodon. From the identified fossil specimen, it's been observed that this dinosaur was about 6.5 meters long. That means that Volcanodon wouldn't make your typical pet. It was more like an elephant or a camel. Of course, the fact that this dinosaur was a meat eater would also be a problem, but if people kept tigers and lions as pets, why not Volcanodon too?
16.
Nemicalopterus. In February of 2008, paleontologists in China discovered the fossil of Nemicalopterus. It's the tiniest flying reptile yet identified, with a wingspan of only 10 inches and a weight of a few ounces. The pigeon lovers would definitely love this pigeon-sized dinosaur that lived around 120 million years ago.
15.
Oviraptor. The feathered Oviraptor may have been one of the most intelligent dinosaurs of the late Cretaceous period, according to paleontologists. For example, it was one of the few theropods smart enough to sit on its own eggs until they hatched. Due to its sharp mind and protective caring nature, it's believed that the Oviraptor would most likely make a good pet. But this is only a guess. Like this whole list of dinosaurs that would make great pets.
14.
Europa Soros. Europa Soros was a plant eater with a heart of gold. Despite being huge in size, it was no threat to other living creatures of its time due to its peaceful nature. It lived in the Jurassic period and inhabited Europe. Its fossils have been found in places such as Germany and Switzerland. It would definitely make a good pet, but you would need a huge backyard, as it wouldn't be able to get in your house.
13.
Paleopteryx. Paleopteryx lived in the Jurassic period and inhabited North America. Its fossils have been found in places such as Colorado. Other than being small and super cute, according to the imagination of modern illustrators, Paleopteryx was an insectivore. Do you know what that means? It exclusively ate insects. I personally would love a pet like this, so I'll take it.
12.
Microceratus. This 20-pound Microceratops was almost certainly the smallest horned dinosaur that ever lived. It was outweighed by even a fat cat. The fact that he only ate green salad makes him even more harmless and cute in the eyes of paleontologists. Definitely pet material.
11.
Chromogeosaurus. Chromogeosaurus is one of the oldest known dinosaurs. Not particularly big for a dinosaur, it wasn't small either. Standing on its 2 feet, it would have been around 6'7". However, Chromogeosaurus preferred to walk on its 4 legs, like a dog, and ate plants exclusively. Sounds like a good pet already, right? Then again, that just might be wishful thinking of a naive human.
10.
Gigantoraptor. Gigantoraptor was a giant ground-dwelling bipedal omnivore with a shearing bite, as indicated by the preserved mandible. Some dinosaurs of this kind stood out, as they were covered with long, beautiful, tufted feathers. Gigantoraptor's pet status would also depend on whether this giant dinosaur decided to have a vegetarian diet or feasted on the occasional small mammal, including humans. Whatever the case, you would need to have a huge backyard to host this pet, for sure.
9.
Cardarynchus. Realistically speaking, Cardarynchus would definitely make a better pet than Gigantoraptor. Its fossils were found in eastern China and were unearthed from rocks in 2011. The only well-preserved fossil is quite complete, with only a portion of the tail missing. When alive, this little fellow was probably about 16 inches or 40 centimeters long, roughly the same size as a large lizard. It only weighed about 4.4 pounds or 2 kilograms and was one of the lightest dinosaurs to ever live. Yep, definitely pet material.
8.
Unisaurus. Unisaurus was one of the first sauropods. This bipedal plant-eating dinosaur was smaller than most of the sauropods that followed it, but it was still big enough to cause some damage if angered. 8 feet long and 200 pounds of damage to be exact. Keep in mind, though, that Unisaurus was gentle and inoffensive, according to paleontologists, characteristics that make it another ideal choice for a pet.
7.
Nothronicus. This big bird-like dinosaur probably looked very weird, in a cute way. Maybe something like a Looney Tunes character. Its long, tapered front claws, narrow snout, and prominent pot belly only added to its charm. Meanwhile, its presumed herbivorous diet would have made this dinosaur man-friendly. Oddly enough, Nothronicus is also the first therizinosaur, scythe lizard, to be identified outside Asia.
6.
Abiah Poposaurus. Abiah Poposaurus was a plant eater, and thus not a threat for our kind. It lived in the Jurassic period and inhabited South America. Its fossils have been mainly found in Argentina. Despite being a huge dinosaur, paleontologists suggest that it was one of the most friendly and caring of its kind.
5.
Micropachycephalosaurus. Micropachycephalosaurus derives from the ancient Greek language and translates to something like tiny thick-headed lizard. And trust me, paleontologists weren't playing around when they gave this name to this dinosaur. That's exactly what this dinosaur was, a 5-pound pachycephalosaur that roamed late Cretaceous Asia around 80 million years ago. It's really hard to imagine the severe complexes of inferiority such a tiny dinosaur would feel when he looked at the gigantic members of his kind, but Micropachycephalosaurus would definitely make a good pet for humans.
4.
May. If you thought that Micropachycephalosaurus would make a good pet, allow me to introduce you to May. This dinosaur was as tiny as its name. And nope, I am not exaggerating, not one bit. What will make you love this little dinosaur even more is the story of its discovery. Its fossil was found curled up in a ball, its tail wrapped around its body and its head tucked underneath its arm. Paleontologists suggest that this tiny, unprotected dinosaur was buried alive by a sudden sandstorm about 140 million years ago. Now that dinosaur could indeed have been an excellent pet.
3.
Minmi. Minmi was a small, plant-eating, quadrupedal armored dinosaur. Paleontologists have estimated that its length was around 9.8 feet or 3 meters, and it weighed about 660 pounds or 300 kilograms. Experts describe Minmi as not a particularly bright dinosaur. Taking into account how even the smartest dinosaurs weren't exactly known for their sharp mind, you can assume that this dinosaur would make a good pet only because it would desperately need someone to look after it.
2.
Lielenosaura. Lielenosaura wasn't exactly small, but it definitely wasn't big either, for a dinosaur that is. It had a human-like size when it stood on its 2 feet and lived in Middle Cretaceous Australia. What made this dinosaur really likable was its large eyes and its smiley mouth, which made it look like a stuffed toy for children. Add to the mix that Lielenosaura was named after an 8-year-old girl, the daughter of an Australian paleontologist, Patricia Vickers-Rich, and all animal lovers will think of this dinosaur as the perfect pet. Which may not be the case. Sorry, folks.
1.
Stegasaurus. Also known as the friendliest dinosaur to ever live, the Stegasaurus is one of the best-known dinosaurs. This kind of dinosaur has been positively featured in film and many other types of media. It's considered to be the most famous dinosaur from a group of dinosaurs known as Stegasauria. They were all plant eaters and featured rows of unique bones that developed into plates and spines along their back and tail. So, what do you think? Would these have made great pets? Are there any you would add to the list? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answers to us at List25, or to me personally at Michael B. Estrin. And if you liked this list, you're going to love the videos in this playlist here.